Welcome to Spiritual Awakening family. Twin flames have a very special role to fulfill in this time of Earth's ascension to a higher frequency. As volunteers to this third-dimensional plane of existence, we came here to anchor, emanate and demonstrate the new paradigm energies in order to raise the vibratory pattern of humanity as a whole. Then why is it, you ask, that when we wake up from our human slumber we are far from feeling like powerful, co-creating spiritual superheroes ready to take on the Matrix? In fact, when we awaken to the twin flame experience and its cosmic call to assist humanity, we often find ourselves barely afloat in the fish soup of the lower human experience, stuck in the nitty-gritty of everyday struggles, relationships and marriages that fail to nourish us, overwhelming family dynamics and soul-destroying jobs, cracking under cultural and religious demands, in endless cycles of financial struggle, or perhaps generally watching our life's course steer to the opposite direction of what we as a young child gazing at the stars dreamed of. Truly, the examples here are many. Yet twin flames come here as co-creators, to bring on a new paradigm, a higher love, a more authentic way of living and relating. Each of us comes here for a specific mission. So, why are things made so difficult for us? Why is it that once we begin grasping at just what our true nature is, we also realize just how far disconnected from it we are and how much work still lies ahead of us? Firstly, it is important to understand that there is nothing wrong with us. We didn't fail and we aren't being punished. These struggles are meant to push us towards the discovery of our highest potential. After all, the universe works in paradoxes. From adversity comes strength, from dependence comes independence, from darkness comes light. Sometimes we only see the way up once we lay in tatters on the proverbial floor, and that's okay. Then there is only one way to go. After all, the clearing of all patterns must come first. For twin flames, there is also a deeper, spiritual reason why we must experience the old dysfunctional templates and patterns. In fact, as surprising as it may seem, we willingly agreed to be born into bloodlines with negative lower frequency patterns as part of our mission. The master plan was to take on these dysfunctional patterns and templates and to integrate these into our own energetic blueprint, with the intention of clearing them later in life for the benefit of our bloodline and Earth's vibrational ascension. For some this may seem contradictory. After all, we came here to transform the old and bring in the new, not to fit in. Unfortunately, we possess no magic wand to transform the dense dark realities of the human experience. Our only hope lies in the mastery of ourself. To create change, we must be the change, meaning that the change that we wish to bring into this world must start from within. We cannot expect to bring in the new unless we first rid ourselves of the old debilitating patterns on all levels of our being. Furthermore, we cannot hope to assist others unless we have experienced firsthand how the process of spiritual growth and purification works. Therefore, for maximum impact on both personal and universal level, we picked families and surroundings that did not energetically resonate with us and where we often felt misunderstood and out of place. Born emphatic, we were naturally aware of other people's energies and emotions from a young age, and sought to make them feel better so we didn't have to feel their pain, disappointment, etc. Often, such as in my case, the vibrational misalignment made us feel like we were born into the wrong family and culture. It was unexplainable, especially if we had a happy childhood with a family that loved us. However, since it is always the strongest vibration which dominates, not necessarily the highest, we eventually lowered our vibration in order to fit in and to avoid negative attention, disappointment and even abuse. These distorted patterns follow us into adulthood, and repeat themselves in our friendships, relationships and marriages, attracting darkness into our life and keeping us in a state of spiritual amnesia, disconnected from our divinity. the impact of meeting our twin flame. To clear these patterns and to reconnect with our true potential, we must go through a process of purification, surrender and self-realization. For many of us, this transformation to remember who we truly are and to activate our soul's purpose begins when we meet our twin flame. With them, our heart and consciousness enter into what seems an unstoppable expansion, perfectly matching, reflecting and resonating with theirs. It is a familiar energetic fit and oneness unlike anything we have ever known. Everything within this shared vibrational bubble becomes heightened while all the old realities of our human lives seem to fade into the background. We become acutely aware of the energetic suppression we've lived under, and even with the vibrational codependency of our pre-twin life still deeply ingrained in us, we find ourselves feeling more alive than ever. Recognizing the blueprint and energetic signature we share, they feel like home to us. Ascension 1. Unfortunately, while meeting our twin flame opens up a whole new world of energetic and vibrational possibility and helps bring us closer to our divine blueprint, it is impossible for us to maintain this higher vibrational state with the old patterns still weighing us down. Sooner or later, usually within weeks or a few short months, crisis hits the couple and separation ensues. More often than not, one or both twins return to their lower vibrational relationships and situations, or jump headfirst into new ones. While many see this as a fear-driven, often contradictory reaction, this too happens to a reason. Firstly, the twins cannot complete their deep introspection and cleansing with the overwhelming presence of their twin in their life. After all, the process is already an emotionally intense one, and any contact with the twin only seems to highlight this. Secondly, the twins are often completely unprepared for the negative patterns, conflicts, dilemmas, fears and insecurities the connection brings to surface, and so they return to their old lives for respite because it's the only stability they can find. Thirdly, the pursuit of the high vibrational twin flame connection conflicts strongly with the necessity to clear the old dysfunctional patterns. The twins find themselves being energetically pulled into two opposing directions, since the priority is always on mission and service. The clearing of old karma from the ancestral blueprint must come first, ahead of the physical union. Since twins share no karma and cannot interfere with the karmic work the other must complete, they naturally gravitate towards those who can help them do this, that is the karmic husbands, wives, partners, family members, etc. These people will remain part of their earthly experience until they are no longer needed, at which point, if the twins so choose, the universe assists them to move on. If we are lucky enough to be able to maintain contact with our twin flame during this time of intense self-work, even intermittently, this has enormous benefits for both. Even if the immediate outcome does not resemble any relationship we have ever known, twins do often check up on each other, even in separation, to, often unconsciously, gauge the spiritual progress being made on the other side of the mirror. However, categorizing the connection at this point is likely to be detrimental, even though it may be helpful to see our twin flame as a catalyst and partner to our spiritual growth. No matter what their outer actions look like, the journey to self is never about the other. However, as our perfect energetic mirror, our twin is in a unique position to help us recognize, embrace and clear the dysfunctional templates deeply ingrained in us, and vice versa. If we become attentive to how they trigger us, the better and faster we become at turning our attention inward, enabling us to grow and evolve in all areas of our being that much faster. Overcoming victim mentality for the benefit of your union. One of the dysfunctional glitches present in many bloodlines is abusive relationship patterns. This includes not only physical violence, but the many elements of emotional, psychological, financial and sexual abuse, deprivation, humiliation, threats of harm or abandonment, blame, blackmail, etc. Many twin flames, including me and my twin, have played the role of the victim in codependent relationships prior to meeting. As kind, emphatic souls, we want to help others, but without the required self-mastery, we end up not only hurting ourselves but also enabling a cycle of dysfunctional behaviors in the process. This imbalanced dynamic within us attracts its outer manifestation in the form of a near twin or karmic soulmate who is there to reinforce these patterns, but also who simultaneously offers us plenty of opportunities to see beyond them and to do things differently. If we do not learn our lessons with one karmic mate, we sooner or later find ourselves repeating the pattern with another, that is, until we rid ourselves of the template. Therefore, the self-work many try to avoid by running away from the twin will have to be dealt with sooner or later, whether our twin flame is part of our life or not. Of course, one would think that if we were ever in such a dysfunctional relationship and met our twin flame that we would leave it at once and never return. However, all those of us who have had, or watched, such an experience know just how hard it is to leave a codependent relationship when we lack self-love and awareness. Not even perfect love manifest can do this until we step up and do the self-work allocated to us. It's easy to judge those who stay, but we must ask ourselves honestly, how many times have we stayed in situations and relationships that were detrimental to our growth? Perhaps thinking that if we only gave these people another chance, or perhaps loved them a little more, they would change. How many times have we settled for less while reassuring ourselves that it's not that bad after all? Yet these many levels of self-denial come with one core problem: not being fully ourselves for fear of dealing with the feelings, emotions and consequences that would arise in us, or others, if we did. Yet martyrdom in all its forms never saved or healed anyone. All it did was to create deeply embedded templates that ended up being passed down for generations. Trying to save another person by protecting them from their own pain and disappointment, or because we are too afraid of the consequences, is only keeping them and us from evolving and growing, and from true happiness and purpose. Overstaying relationships because we're afraid to affect the status quo only prolongs our pain and of course delays our twin flame reunion. The older patriarchal templates of human interaction are no longer valid. What is needed is a leap in consciousness to allow us to move into the new rather than perish with the old. As twin flames, we are at the forefront of this transformation, and a lot is expected of us. We must do everything we can to find the clarity and strength to end the victim, oppressor mentality in all its formats in all aspects of our life. If the vow of service to our twin flame, humanity and God is still alive within us, then we must invite and allow more awareness and light into all our relationships, starting with the most difficult ones right under our nose, since these are most often the ones holding us back. Unfortunately, your twin flame, no matter how much he loves you, is not coming to save you. He cannot. However, the love that you share can empower you to save yourself. The simplest way to start doing this is to at all times seek to align yourself with the templates of light rather than darkness, knowing that any clearing work that you do positively affects not only the planetary vibration but also your union. Eventually, if one or both twins keep bringing their shadows into light, the positive vibration becomes the strongest of the union and helps lift the other twin up, and this alone should be enough motivation to take on the individual and bloodline clearing work we came here to do. In my next blog post, I will share my experience of clearing my blueprint of the dysfunctional abusive relationship pattern inherited through my bloodline, how I got it in the first place and how it manifested in my life, how meeting my twin flame impacted it, and how his presence and, at times, absence influenced the clearing work, and how I finally eradicated it from my life and being. I hope you liked the video. Welcome to my channel. Don't forget to check out the other uploads and subscribe if you like it.